I walk the streets with my swagger on, supernatural, facing a million opponents, and my role is to act alone. Lights, camera when the action's on. Where I roam is a battle zone, a vigilante in the catacombs. But I rock with a hot shot, like a clock when it's cocked and popped and the lead is gone. People say that my head is gone, but it's them same people with need of my help when I'm heading home in life. They say that everybody got a purpose, so I roam the city streets like faulty cellular service. The hot shot sharpshooter superhero, destined to shine like light through the dark and evil. I fight for what's right in the hearts of people and try to open y'all eyes, cause it's hard to see truth. You ever feel like everybody's the same but you different? That's when you know you're here to make a difference. Hot shot, you got a choice to make, stand up or stand down. Fight or flight, get up, bang out the world's wait. Can't wait to see what you about. It's showtime, act now. Hot shot, you got a choice to make, stand up or stand down. Fight or flight, get up and bang out the world's wait. Can't wait to see what you about. It's showtime, act now. Hot shot.
What's up, everybody? Mike Watson in the building, aka Most Epic, the publisher of Freestyle Comics, and we are here for another Wednesday of chatting and drawing. Back in the building for episode, all right, bear with me now. It's technically episode 288 because I made a schedule. I had my whole April and May all planned out, and then I got a new random episode that I had to label 290. So we're actually at episode 290 of 300, but it's like we're in the past because I already did episode 290. This is why people shouldn't mess with time. This is why you shouldn't time travel and mess with it, because it gets all crazy. But either way it go, we are totally 290 episodes, 10 episodes away from the magnificent 300. Wow! The podcast, the art podcast that came out of the pandemic, still thriving strong. So look, here we are. Let's get to the business so we can get to the fun. All right, let's dash through this really quick. Urban Nerd Con. Click that link. We will be there. Freestyle Comics will be in the building. I got the X-Men prints. I got the X-Men single prints that you watched me draw over the last 2 weeks. We've got all 42 comics of Freestyle Comics in stock. They're going to be there for you to purchase and buy and have a good time. We got prints, we got stickers, we got metal bookmarks, and I am going for the most incredible setup that has ever been done for Freestyle Comics at this event. So if you're in Atlanta, come check us out. We will be at the Urban Nerd Con down there. Click that link. The project I'm working on for Infinity Engine is in process. It is being colored right now. I am one of the cover artists. Can't wait to unveil that to you and show you guys this awesome Amish cover that we have going on. If you want to check out Freestyle Comics and maybe you're like a casual person that likes your books mailed to you, and sometimes maybe you like a metal bookmark and a sticker mailed to you with said book for $10 with free shipping. Oh, that's our subscription service. So you should definitely check that out. Over at Patreon, we got 5 different tiers. Give it a lookie. And if you ever want to be on this show, click this link to be booked. Now, we interview cosplayers, TikTokers, YouTubers, comic book creatives, writers, novelists, all types of people, comedians. But I want to also throw it out there. I want to interview some fans. are you crazy about a fandom? Are you crazy about like the Lord of the Ring movies? And you're like, I don't have anybody to talk to. You do now. I love Lord of the Rings. My wedding ring is the One Ring. So let's talk. I'll draw your favorite character from Lord of the Rings while we talk about Lord of the Rings for an hour. And I will be drawing through Clip Studio. You click this link, it gets you 3 months free because Clip Studio is our sponsor. So go ahead and check that program out. It's awesome. I am just scathing the surface of it. It's got everything an artist could need to put together illustrations, comic books, all that good jazz. The reference is out of control. So check this out for 3 months for free on us. It ain't gonna hurt you. All right, all right. Now we got the business out the way. Let me bring up everyone's favorite co-host, Amayu.
Hey y'all.
What's up, Amayu?
Happy hump day.
Hump day, hump day,
It's a
hump
very,
day.
very special hump day today.
Oh, why is it special?
Not just because it's 4/24/24.
Okay.
That's cool.
424, 420. Okay.
But it's 2 days to my birthday.
Oh! Hey, hold up. Let me get the let's get the crowd clapping.
Thank you.
So I'm gonna see you this weekend.
Yes, at the Urban Nerd Con here
Urban Nerd
in Atlanta, Georgia. Hopefully the weather is gorgeous. Matter of fact, I'm gonna check it while we're chatting. But it's been like a regular schmegular week for me. Nothing special, a lot of work because I'm trying to get all my clients in before the weekend comes. Okay, it's gonna be like 78, 77, 80, partly cloudy. So okay. We can wear the shorts. We can bring the shorts out. We're gonna do that.
Deal with that. So when I come down there, I don't care about nothing else. I need to know the dopest barbecue spot to eat in Atlanta. I want ribs falling off the bones. I just want beef, ribs, and macaroni and cheese. So I know you live down there. You gotta direct.
Talk about a couple places, couple options for you.
Okay. All right. Well, look, let's get into it because I've been waiting for this interview. I've been waiting to dive into this one. I'm super excited. And this is a special guest for us. Met her out at DreamCon, and she's awesome. So we're going to bring them in traditional chat and draw fashion. Twist.
Wait a second. A new opponent has interrupted the tournament.
Danielle, what's up?
That was so cool. I was typing like, this is so cool.
Awesome. Glad you liked it. Your page, I've been to your page. I follow your Instagram, been to your website, and I'm like, this girl is bananas with the cosplay. So we had to get a special reel showcasing a lot. That's not even all of it. Like, that's a small percentage of the cosplay that you dig into.
Yeah, there's a lot. I might have a problem. I don't know.
Oh, no. I think it's called passion. But what I want to do is let you introduce yourself to everybody, tell them who you are and what you do.
Oh, well, I am Danielle Denicola. I am a cosplayer. I stream on Twitch as well. I make costumes. I wear them to conventions. I sometimes make costumes for companies if they need their characters to come to life in some way. And yeah, everything in between.
Nice. Okay,
Awesome.
so I'm sorry. Go ahead, Mike. I'll let you.
No. You're fine. We are 10 minutes into the show. I got my sketch done, so we're about to dive into this. So let's just get into it. Let's get into all the conversation.
Okay, you can go ahead and shout out. We'll shout out the people in the chat. We have Anthony Ramos, Soul Everin. Is that how we pronounce that? Little Red, and a couple other folks.
Victor's in the building. What's up, Victor?
Hey, Victor, Brad, Arnie, and of course Danielle. Okay. Now, Mike is completely familiar with you, and apparently you got some fans out there because they are already in the chat. But this is my first introduction to you. So, okay, so cosplayer, okay. I'm already like on my way to fangirling, so I'm gonna click on your Instagram just because when I saw the pictures going up, usually there's just like this kind of stream that not stream, but clip that he does. But I saw the pictures. I'm like, hold on, I haven't seen these pictures before. These were all you.
That was so cool.
So,
It like swapped to my face, and I was like, like wasn't even ready to talk yet because I was like, that was so cool.
so how did you get into cosplaying?
Well, I was in college and I have a friend who I am still really close to this day, who I would go to conventions with all the time. We played video games together. We were on like an unofficial team for League of Legends, so we were like really close, and she loved cosplay and I had never done it before because I was way too shy, and I always thought it would be cool when I was walking around the con. I was like, that'd be fun to maybe dress up one day. But she liked to do it all the time, and she kept trying to get me to do it with her, and then eventually she made me a cosplay halfway maybe to guilt me into it since she already made it for me. But then also it was from Dragon Ball Z, which is like one of my like fandoms, so I couldn't say no to her. And then I did it with her. We did like a group together where we were both the different versions of Launch from the Dragon Ball series, where she sneezes and becomes like a different colored hair version of herself. So she was the blue-haired Launch and I was the blonde Launch, except we're about a foot height difference from each other, so it didn't look like the same person whatsoever. But it was really, really fun because all of the Dragon Ball Z fans and other cosplayers were like running up to us really excited, and then I was like, well, maybe I should do Android 18, and then it was like, well, then maybe I should do this, and then maybe we should do this, and then it was just like a slow like snowball until I am still doing it 10 years later.
Nice. Okay, that was gonna be my second question. How long has it been? So 10 years that you've been cosplaying.
Yeah.
So you mentioned that you were gaming before. So technically you were a gamer before you got into the cosplay?
Yes.
And you
Very
still are a gamer?
Yes, very much so.
I'm trying to get into gaming. I haven't quite found my niche yet. So for a first time gamer, starting at 42, I'll be 42 on Friday. What would you recommend? And this is PS5. That's the only system that I have right now.
Okay. I am an Xbox girly only because I really like Halo, and I am like brand loyal to Halo specifically. So I never had a PlayStation, but I know that Last of Us was a PlayStation exclusive for a really long time, and Last of Us is, I think, one of the greatest games of all time. It won a ton of awards. Are you okay with what kind of genres do you like, or are you unsure right now what you want?
So as far as games, I have no clue. But as far as movies and television shows, I am a Walking Dead fan.
Okay.
I did watch The Last of Us.
Okay.
So that sounds like that's like where I need to start.
Yeah, I agree. Last of Us is incredible.
Okay.
And they followed the game almost 1-to-1. So it's like they took a little bit here and there and expanded on it, but you'll see all of the things that you saw in the show as you play.
Sounds like it's going to make me want to rewatch it just so that I can pick out all the little Easter eggs and things like that.
Yeah. They even use a lot of the same dialogue. So it'll be really cool.
Okay. So you said, so for you, your favorite one is Halo. That's your favorite game.
Yeah, only because of childhood. I feel like I've played games now that I love way more, but I just can't ever let it go, you know?
Gotcha. And do you have like a schedule that you like stream for your gaming, or tell me all about like Twitch? Because I have a Twitch account. I I had it for a while just because I wanted to reserve my name. I never did anything on it though. And
Mhm.
now I'm about to start, streaming my gaming. So tell me all about like your Twitch experience, I guess.
Yeah. Um, well, it's actually kind of interesting because I originally so Twitch was purely gaming for a really long time.
Right?
And then eventually they wanted to branch out into other types of streaming. So they um, wanted to do Twitch gaming and then Twitch creative. So they were trying to separate it. And so they reached out to a ton of cosplayers to basically craft on stream,
Okay.
like
Oh,
make
okay.
their costumes live and like teach people how they're doing it and
Mhm.
stuff like that. And so I got approached by Twitch to be a cosplayer and make costumes. That is no longer what I do, but that's how I
Okay.
started. They basically like laid me up for success because they wanted cosplayers on their
Gotcha.
like new platform, and then eventually they moved away from separating it and instead are still all under Twitch TV, but when you do the drop down menu to stream underneath like whatever game you're playing, instead of a game, you can pick arts and crafts or body painting or like traditional art or digital art and stuff like that. So they just made it a category instead. But um, I started, what I would do is I would make costumes on stream and I would mess up because I was looking at chat and I wasn't paying attention to what I was doing, and I was like really hyper focused on like paying attention to people, and then I would end up having to remake a ton of what I made on stream.
Okay.
Um yeah, and I also just like video games so much and I think it's really like I think it's way more fun. I think when I craft I kind of end up hyper focused with like horse blinders, and then I either ignore chat completely or I ignore my costume completely. So it was way more fun for me to play games instead. So it was 3 days a week, and I started out just cosplay, and then I slowly moved 2 days cosplay, 1 day gaming, 1 day cosplay, 2 days gaming, and then eventually just phased cosplay out completely and
Right.
only do gaming. It's just way less stressful for me, and I find it like way more fun and fulfilling to like play games with people and have a good time that way. So I do that now.
So
Okay.
that
So is that your have you gotten to the point where like that's your like full-time gig type of situation? Because like you model as well, correct?
Yeah, I would say cosplay is probably my main time gig, and then streaming is sort of my side gig, even though it takes up a ton of time.
Your hobby that actually still pays you. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
gotcha.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Cool, cool, cool. So as far as like your followers and everything, like where is that at? Like is it mostly on the Twitch TV or is it mostly on like TikTok? Are we allowed to say TikTok?
yeah, we're allowed to say it.
Okay.
It's
Or
still
Instagram.
breathing. It's still
It's still
breathing.
It's still
okay.
there for now.
Yeah.
I would say Instagram was probably the platform that I spent the most time on, and then probably Twitter, and then Twitch, Facebook,
Okay.
and then I'm now focusing. I want to focus more on YouTube this year. That's my goal.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which one's cutting the biggest check? And you don't have to tell us how much, that's your business. But you can tell us who's cutting the biggest check though.
I would probably say cosplay as a whole
Okay.
is doing that. I don't think it's a specific social media platform unless
Gotcha.
we dive into like Patreon and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, you do have Patreon as
Uh-huh.
well.
Patreon. Okay. All righty.
So I want to. I'm sorry, I got to backtrack a little bit. Because I wanted to ask. I know you said you are dedicated to your Xbox, but you sounded very excited when you talked about the Last of Us video game. So did you play the Last of Us?
Yeah, so luckily in every living situation that I've ever had, my roommate always has a PlayStation, probably because Xbox is like a dying breed. So
Mhm.
usually whenever I live with somebody, actually 100% of the time, when I've ever lived with anybody, they have PlayStations and I borrow them to play. I played Horizon Zero Dawn, Last
Oh,
of Us,
wow.
and a couple other things that were PlayStation exclusives that I can't think of right now.
Okay, so was your skin crawling when you played the PlayStation, knowing that you're so dedicated to your Xbox that you have to fight through some?
Oh, it was Spider-Man actually that I played.
Oh, okay.
No, I just was really confused. I don't know why. I would like to speak to the controller manufacturer that decided that all of the Xbox buttons were going to be in a different place than the PlayStation buttons, and then all of those buttons were going to be different from the Switch buttons. I just want to talk. I don't know why the Y is up there sometimes and over here sometimes. I just don't get it. Sometimes this is A, this is X. That's my only complaint, is that in my brain I press X and it's not X anymore.
Wow.
I understand. Horizon Zero Dawn, what did you think of that? Because I think that's one of the best games that's ever been made.
I agree. It's really good. I love Horizon. I haven't played the new one. I would like to though.
Miles miles superior to the old one. Like you
Oh,
don't
really?
think that oh yeah, like you don't think they can do better. And for me, it's the little things in a game like that. Her run animation, her movement animation, the debris. Like when you're fighting the animals or anything like that, and like the explosions, how she reacts, the way her hair moves, especially like just like the detail in the water when she swims. It's one of the best swimming animations, dive wise and stuff. At least for me. So I pay attention to that stuff. Like that's what I look for in my gaming. Obviously, like I want good graphics, but then I look for the little things and how they handle that. Like I'm playing Dragon's Dogma 2 right now, and whether I've noticed it before in a game, I haven't, which is why it drew my attention. When it rains in the world and you're out on the trail turns to mud, and there's puddles of water within the mud. So like
Whoa.
it looks like a complete muddy trail, and your foot steps in it, so it reacts differently. And then when it's not raining, it doesn't look like that or anything like that. So like it's something I noticed that I didn't notice in another game, and I think like maybe Drake's Uncharted was the closest to that as far as weather effects. But yeah, so I can appreciate the fact that you are a loyal Xbox person, but you still see the nuances and appreciate other games.
Yeah, I think I haven't actually used a console in a really long time. I usually only play games on PC now because I feel like most of them have ports. But
Okay.
I did play the new Spider-Man game. I took my roommate's PlayStation and I just played the new Spider-Man game on it.
What
But
were your thoughts on
I
it?
do appreciate. Oh, I just played God of War as well. I did. I'm working on I'm catching up on all the PlayStation stuff.
Yeah, it sounds like you're hitting all the PlayStation exclusives.
Yes, I'm trying.
The rumor is gonna be Danielle has switched over to PlayStation.
Well, all of Halo is on PC now, so maybe.
Okay. Who are we drawing today?
Well, we're drawing Danielle as
Mhm.
Olivia Armstrong.
Ah!
Okay, so for the non-gamers and non-fans, who is Olivia Armstrong? Danielle, tell us all about her.
Oh my god, now I have to cosplay her. I can't believe that you just gave me a reason. This is incredible. I needed one reason and you gave it to me.
No problem at all.
She is a character. I was about to say I haven't seen. I'm sorry. Whiskey is in all of my Discord, all my streams and stuff, and he has been telling me, he's in chat right now on YouTube, and he has been telling me to cosplay her for years. And I was thinking in my head, Whiskey's not here to make a comment about this right now, and then he appeared in the chat.
Whiskey in the building.
There it is.
Welcome,
Yeah.
Whiskey.
She is amazing. She is from Full Metal Alchemist. It's an anime, and she is this captain. But so ever since I was younger, I always found characters who had like really blonde hair, that's like long blonde hair, usually are all depicted as like very dumb, I would say, in media, as that's just as a child. Now that I'm older, I have seen way more like diversity, but um whenever I would notice a character who was really like strong and cool and also had like long blonde hair and was actually like cool, I would love them. So Android 18 was one of my first characters that I loved, and she was one of my first characters that I loved. She's like this really strong, badass, like captain, and she everybody is like fears but also loves her, if that makes sense, and I just love her energy.
Nice. So when can we expect this cosplay?
I don't know. Soon. I actually ordered the materials already.
Okay, let's talk about cosplay. Okay, so I consider myself intermediate, not quite beginner. Well, probably like intermediate into beginner. Just been doing it for, I don't know, like 10-ish years, but like once a year for Dragon Con. Now, of course, I've got the Urban Nerd Con coming up, so I'm doing something for that as well. So, like, what would be your tips for newer cosplayers?
Okay. In what regard would you
As
say?
far as like picking a character, seamstress, like should do you have a seamstress background, or like do you just do everything with foam? Like what's your thing? And then what would you say, hey, start here. Don't just go up in here trying to, sew a whole gown or something. But like
Right.
start.
Yeah. So me and sewing machines are enemies. I will use them. I hate them. I am much better with foam and armor and props and big things that I can sort of like manhandle, if you will, because sewing is so intricate and delicate, and you have to be like very, very gentle. You can't like rip the needle out of the sewing machine, and I like don't have the time or patience, I've realized, to like be very, very good at sewing.
Okay.
So I focus more on armor, foam, warbler kind of prop making, and I either buy base pieces like on Amazon, and just modify them versus making them from scratch, or I will ask my or I'll get like a friend who is really good with sewing, and I will offer either to pay them for doing that one piece, or maybe trade them like an armor thing for a fabric thing.
Okay. Good.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
For newer folks, do you think they should start with sewing, or should they just skip that? Or
I think you should start maybe trying everything and see what you like the best. Having like a base knowledge of everything is probably really helpful. I would say though, if you are just starting out, it could be really overwhelming really fast to try to do all these new things and learn so many skills at once. So I would actually buy base pieces and just modify them versus going and getting fabric by the yard and patterns and all of that stuff. I think like learning slowly is a lot more helpful than because I started a couple projects right in the beginning and realized really quickly that I was way over my head, and it really is like a bummer, and you don't want to like
waste money and
yeah,
that, yeah.
or like kill your own vibe.
Right. Don't even want to do it anymore because
Yeah.
yeah. I got you. Apparently there's some type of battle going on in the chats for the Alliance or for the Horde. What does that mean? I think that's Danielle's people.
Yeah, it's from World of Warcraft.
Oh, okay.
It's so there are two factions in World of Warcraft. It's the Horde and the Alliance.
Okay.
And the Alliance is like the human, it's like the nobility almost. It's like the humans, the some of the elves, and then the horde is kind of like the down and dirty, like orcs and trolls and undead and stuff like that.
Did they make a movie out of that?
Horde.
Yes, they did. Yes,
Sorry?
they did.
I feel like I might have seen the movie.
Oh yeah, there was a movie.
Okay. Okay. Sorry for interrupting. Okay.
No, it's okay.
I'm trying to think who's winning right now. The Horde is winning right now. 1, 2,
Good.
3. Oh, so you're for
Oh,
the
you're for the
Horde?
horde?
Yeah, I am.
I knew you're going to be an elf, but okay, for the Horde. I got you.
The
I'm
Horde has
sorry.
one elf race, but I always played undead. So
Okay. And also, I saw a tip from Lil Red. They said thrift stores are your best friend.
that's so true.
I definitely got to start doing a little more thrifting, especially in Atlanta. Like, it's not like we don't have the thrift stores. I just don't really go to them as much as I probably.
I had a friend that was doing, we went to the sand dunes recently to do Dune cosplays.
I saw that. That was really cool.
Thank you.
Where? Sand dunes where?
So we live in California, and they're about like 3.5 hours north of us were these dunes called the Imperial Sand Dunes. So we made a day trip out of it.
Sweet.
But I was gonna say so I was making a Dune suit, but I was trying to convince her to do one of the Bene Gesserit like witches. I don't really know what they are truly, but I did watch some movies. There's a lot of information there. But they had these really cool like veils over their face, and yeah, and like the beads over her face and stuff. And she was like, if I go to a thrift store and I find something, I'm in, but if I can't, I can't. And legitimately, she walked into the very first thrift store, and right in the front was a yellow like gold gown on a hanger. Like right when she walked in, she sent me a picture and she was like, guess I'm doing it. I was like, yes. Nice.
I'm definitely going to have to stalk your Instagram now. What is your Instagram? I'm just going to do it right now while I'm on here.
It's just my name. It's Danielle Denicola.
That's easy.
Yeah, I really, with reckless abandon, doxed my own name on the internet.
No, you have to do that. Once my brother gave me my tag name, Most Epic. And
Oh, really?
yeah, so I didn't realize that I was making an acronym because I kept calling myself the most enthusiastic person in comics because I'm loud and very enthused at these comic book conventions. And my brother called me one day, Victor, and he was like, yeah, so you realize that you keep saying that you're the most enthusiastic person in comics, but your acronym is EPIC, most enthusiastic person in comics. And I was like, oh my god, I didn't know that. So as soon as like that light clicked on, he told me, I went to every social media and locked it down as soon as possible. So yeah, you have to do that.
Wow, it's perfect.
Yes.
That's amazing.
Who is this bunny that you're cosplaying as?
Bunny.
From Blue Archive.
Oh, yeah. Blue Archive is a mobile game.
Okay.
Now,
all right, let me not get distracted. Sorry. I want to see that Dune one too.
That's the first one that I posted, besides the pinned stuff.
Gotcha. Okay.
So you had so many good cosplays. It was really hard to pick which ones to put in the reel for you. Like, because I was going through your website and then I was on your Instagram page and I was going back and forth through, and I'm just like, I really have to narrow this down. But damn, there's so many to choose from. And you do the one thing that I really do appreciate about a cosplayer is that you have multiple facets. Like, excuse me, you can do the sexy cosplay, but then you can do the super armored, huge ass cosplay as well, and also the slice of life. So like, you have a very large palette of your cosplay tools that you do, and your photo shoots are ridiculous. Like, how much of this is, you know, your creativity, or are you teaming up with people to like make these massive pieces come together?
Um, I usually make most of what I cosplay. I have like a small army of 3D printers that are usually always working, and I have a lot of foam. If I do need help, usually it's with the sewing stuff, and I'll commission somebody for the sewing stuff. But the foam is what I really enjoy, and the Warbler stuff is what I really enjoy. So that's something that I usually do by myself just
Uh-huh.
because I like doing it.
She said
Was
she's talent epic. Okay, she does all this except for sewing. Okay, no outsourcing here.
Hey, ain't nothing wrong with it.
No, definitely not. Usually, the only time I've ever asked for help with like the armor stuff is if I don't have enough time to finish. Then I'm like, call in the cavalry, guys. It's assembly line time.
So do you, so just to dig a little bit more on that, into that question, like for me, making comic books, like how you're saying your favorite thing is working with the foam, my favorite thing is drawing the comic book, the penciling. But I outsource a writer, I outsource a colorist, and an inker as well to help put the book together.
Mhm.
You're dealing with several different levels of this cosplay that you're doing. I mean, the photo shoots, the setup for the sets, the lighting, the Photoshop work for any of the effects and filters you guys are doing on top of your cosplay costume. When you're doing, let's say you're doing a shoot, how much, like, what goes all into that? Like, how much planning is that? How much prep work? Like, what is that like from start to finish?
Um, a great question. It really depends, I think, on the specific thing, but usually, I'll tell you my process, I
Uh-huh.
guess. I usually just get really excited about one specific thing.
Everyone.
And yeah. Again, I have pretty intense ADHD, and so my hyperfixation, I'll play a game on like stream and get really excited about it and really want to make the costume. And then what I'll usually do is I'll start making the costume. I'll have some sort of finish date, whether it's like a convention that it's going to debut at or like a photo shoot. Usually, it's always on a time crunch, usually because either the game just came out and you want to like make sure that you finish it before hype dies down, or if
Mhm.
you're like going to a con, you want to debut it there. There's a hard deadline. I work way better with deadlines. So, as long as there is like a time that it needs to be done by. I just start working really hard, and the photographer, if it is for a photo shoot, usually I will spend, if it's an armor thing, like the Dune thing, um, I spent like 2 or 3 days constructing. My 3D printers were working for like 2 weeks before that, like just so that most of the pieces were already printed out. Um, so a couple days on construction, ideally a couple days on assembling and painting. And then I will usually spend a couple hours on Pinterest making like a board of like a mood board, if you will, like what I think the photos should look like in my brain so that
Oh,
I can
okay.
present it to the photographer and be like, I need something to look like this at some point. And then if the photographer is like using the photos for their own thing as well and not just me, then they will be like, okay, I need this for my content. And then I'll be like, okay, well, then I need this for my content. And then we'll just have a shot list, if you will, where we have like a notepad where we write down everything that we need for the day. And then um yeah, once it's shoot time until we get all of those things, and then we call it.
That's that's awesome. And then realize like, um, a mood board and everything like that going into and kind of like just setting up your image of what you want to go. Like that's really cool. Thank you for like letting us in on that creative process.
Yeah, I've tried not doing that, and it never turns out. The photos never turn out as good as if you like really sit down and plan. I've realized what you want things to look like, and also when you're in a big thing of like a big costume of some kind, and you realize that you can't really pose, it's like helpful to have looked at things beforehand to like know how you're going to like stand, so that like that stress isn't like weighing on you the whole time.
Understood. There's a lot of moving parts on a lot of those costumes that I was looking at, a lot of your cosplays or whatever.
Yeah.
What was I about to ask? Duct tape and hot glue. Yes, Anthony Ramos. That's probably what I'll be using. Okay, I'm going to ask you a question. I've got something here. So I've got this green corset that I'm going to be using for my poison ivy.
Yes.
I've got some leaves coming. They're apparently plastic and silk.
Uh-huh.
Adorn on it.
Uh-huh.
Should I try and sew these on, or can I like hot glue? Like
hot glue.
Hot glue. Okay. Good.
Yeah, I would hot glue them personally. Okay. I wouldn't sew them.
I was like, I think that should work with the satin. Okay. All right. Thank you for that.
You could do a little tester on a couple of them to see if they come off, but I don't think that they will. I made a poison ivy the exact same way with hot glue and the fabric leaves.
Okay, cool. I'm excited. I'm doing my own little take on it. I got my little green bottoms coming.
Yeah.
I didn't have like the whole one piece set, so I had to get some green bottoms, and I got the stockings coming. Only thing I don't have is any shoes, but I might just put like a little poison ivy cover like over my my clear shoes that I have. So, you know. All righty. Let's let Epic send us over to a commercial real quick, and then we will get back to our chat.
Yes. Earlier I said I make comic books, and this is a trailer for one of the books, our actual flagship title, Hot Shot. We have 12 issues of it out right now, and the new issue is coming out at the top of next month. That is issue 13 of this comic book. But check out the trailer. Hope you like it. We'll be right back.
Nice.
Wrong one. All right, there we go. Yeah, so you can get that at fsknow.com. Like I said, 12 issues are out and available right now, and the new issue comes out at the top of next month. So, yes. All right. Let's see how this is looking. I'm going in for the details now. So I had to do this kind of like in 3 layers because, Danielle, your hair is so epic. So we wanted to make sure we captured your hair on this cosplay. And right now, so we start off with a nice little sketch. Got a little bit more detailed on this one. Oh, wait. Excuse me. Got a little bit more detailed on this one with the details in the clothing and things. Now I'm getting more detailed, getting the line weights and stuff on there. We have the start of the side of your profile, and then we have this epic blonde hair that's going to be waving in there the way that you rock it. So, yeah, it's coming together.
That's so exciting.
Sweet.
It looks great.
I'm not going to ask you the hardest question ever. You should be what's your favorite cosplay. So I'm going to give me your top. We'll go with top 3 favorite cosplays.
Okay. Yeah, that one is always hard because it's always whatever I'm working on right now that I'm excited about is usually the way that I answer that. But the top three, the first one has to be Dead Space. It's like the first
Oh,
pinned post on my Instagram. I worked probably the hardest and longest on that. I put LEDs in the helmet and the back. Like it's based on the video game Dead Space. He's like in space on a ship. Yeah, that one. Uh-huh. And
yeah.
I commissioned actually Whiskey in chat. He's
Oh,
also an artist to make a female version of Isaac's suit, the main character. And so that was my like base to make everything from. I was looking at that photo. And so I made most of it on that, like based on that photo, and then sort of took liberties here and there. But I did so much work in such a very small amount of time to make that come together. So it was really cool. And the back of him has a like health bar. It's like a
Yeah.
clear plastic tube, and so there's like LEDs running through the clear plastic tube, and so it looks like the health bar is full, stuff like that. So it was like very nuanced, I would say. I put a lot of heart into it. That's my favorite one ever, I would say.
so you were able to pick your most favorite cosplay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think so. A couple of others. I mean, Android 18 might be my favorite, one of my favorites, because I love her, and it was the first one that I made by myself. And I've made it like 3 or 4 times to try and like perfect it as much as possible.
That shows because the Android 18 is that's my favorite one of my favorites that you do. Because when I saw it, I was like, this looks really fucking good. And I think people get lost in it because it is kind of simple because it's regular clothes, but like it's your attitude too when you wear it and how you carry yourself.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's part of the cosplay too. It isn't just the costume and your photos for that. Like, yeah, you killed it.
Thank you. It's hard to pick another one. It could be many, I think. I did a Morrigan from Dragon Age that I really like. She is like a swamp witch, but I really love any of the girls with the attitudes. It's very
We all-
opposite of me as a person, so it's fun to be someone else. I think actually Aaron said Lady Dimitrescu, and I think that might be my third. It's from the newest Resident Evil. She's a
Ah,
giant woman,
nice.
and she is in a castle, and you are sneaking around her castle, and if she sees you, she chases you, and she's like a big scary boss. So
Nice.
he's good. That's a good one.
All right. What cosplays are you looking forward to this year?
Ooh. Um
Unless it's a secret, you know, you don't have to tell us.
No, I think I've mentioned this on stream a couple of times. I am really excited about finishing. I'm making Jessie from Pokemon. So my roommate is a really, really good wig stylist,
Okay.
and I wanted Jessie to have the crazy, like biblically accurate, like swoop wig from like the original Pokemon instead of the like a regular red one. And so she's working on that for me, and I'm working on the rest of the costume. But that's one thing that I'm really excited about. Um, I have something from Hasbin Hotel that I'm working on.
Okay.
Um, and I think maybe if I can rope enough girlies in to make like an armored kaiju group, that is something that I am trying to facilitate as well.
I'm
Just
sure
need
there are people willing. You
people.
just- How many would you need?
Maybe at least a couple, maybe one or two besides me. to do like Godzilla, maybe King Kong, and then something else. I don't know. It's really just a fleeting thing in my brain right now that I haven't
I love
nailed
it.
down yet, but it is something I'm excited about.
I love
Okay.
it. I love you're just like all over the map with your cosplays.
Yeah,
Right.
You're like
truly.
whatever you think is fun is where you want to go at for your cosplay.
Okay,
It's
now you
true.
said you're gonna be doing Jesse. Is there a James or or they them or a partner in this?
I have yet to rope anybody into doing James. I haven't asked anyone though, so we'll see.
Gotcha. I usually don't ask about people's personal lives, but I mean, you don't brought all these guests in here, so I'm just gonna ask: do you have someone? Are you in a relationship? Are you single, poly? Like, what's your situation?
I usually make a joke on stream that I'm married to the sea.
Okay, like
And so
Ariel, maybe
yeah.
blonde Ariel though.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so you can keep that private. Understand? Understood. Now Epic earlier said that you all met at DreamCon. So like, what was your interaction? Like, what happened? Like, how did he get you on the show? All that good stuff.
Um yeah, sorry, I thought he was gonna answer.
Oh no, it's fine. Sometimes
He's busy drawing.
I get lost.
Drawing.
I realized
I'll
after
answer it. It's been a while. I'll answer it because this woman is super busy. Number one, but so I just normally at conventions I kind of reserve like the morning time to walk around with my the chat and draw art book or images of chat and draw, and I follow a ton of cosplayers. So if I see them at one of the shows I'm at, I just go over and approach them and just say, hey, who I am or whatnot. Was like, hey, what's up? Big fan, and I do this podcast, and I would love to get you on it to talk about your career and draw you. So like showed her the artwork and stuff. And to my own glee, she was immediately excited about it. And so just trying to find the time to get her on to be able to do it was the last bit.
Okay, gotcha. And is that the same
Yeah.
story you would tell Danielle?
Yeah. I would add though that I am statistically horrible with DMs, but I was going through my Twitter message requests for the first time in I would say probably a year, and I was like it was mostly bots. That's why I never check it, is because it's always bots. It's like flooded with people who want you to join their weird OnlyFans management agencies. Usually it's just really strange. It's a scary place. So I was actually like, what if I miss something important? Let me actually like sit down and go through this. And then I was like, because I saw the message from him, like a follow-up message, and I was like, oh my god, I missed this, I'm so sorry, I would love to do it. And then we got it in. We figured it out.
Consistency is key, Epic. Good job.
You got to keep going through. But I mean, yeah, just, looking at her content, looking at what she does, I can see the life is hectic and it's fun. I've just recently myself decided to jump into the streaming while I'm doing the drawing. And the last couple of weeks that I've done it, I've streamed like 6 days a week. I know people are like, oh yeah, streaming, it's so easy. It's not. It's very hard to sit there and stay focused and keep doing the thing that you're doing. And like I'm like you right now. I got like how you started, I got 2 days that I dedicated to games. So Dragon's Dogma 2, Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth, and Rise of the Ronin are what's on my tracks right now that I'm playing. So I figured Mondays and Tuesdays would be my game days because who wants to do any work on Monday, really, right?
Right.
And then the rest of the time would be cultivated with drawing, doing artwork and things like that. But this last week I was terrible about it, and Dragon's Dogma took over my stream.
Hey, sometimes it feels right. You got to go with it.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah, absolutely. I was just like, yeah, but I'm so close to this one thing. So if I get that. If I get the one thing, then we'll go back. Then I get the one thing, I'm like, all right, chat, I got to figure out how to work this one thing and figure out how it works and what we can do it for. And then something crazy would happen. Like so Dragon's Dogma is a fantasy game, and I was walking with my party, and we were coming out of these woods. Like, this is why I love the game, because it's like Lord of the Rings. The woods were so thick, so you could only see like speckles of light on the floor, and all of a sudden those speckles disappeared and then came back. And I looked up and I was like, and I couldn't see what was up there. And I'm like, all right, chat, we just have to be cautious when we go out here. It's opening up. So we got to be careful. And we go out there and I'm looking up, it's all clear. I'm walking on the path, having a good time. Like, all right, we got to make it to the campfire. And all of a sudden, huge ass shadow flies over us again. And I look up, oh, that's a griffin. But it's so far up, like it's not paying us any attention. It's just flying about his business. And like, but I keep the camera on it when I'm walking. Like, all right, chat, we gotta hurry up and get to this campsite real quick. I don't think the griffin sees us. It's just okay. It's just flying up. It's going away. It's going away. It's flying. It's turning around. Okay. It's stopping. Oh shit, chat. It's hovering. Does it see me? It's getting close. Oh, it's coming. Chat. It's on us. It's on us.
Wow.
And I mean, this thing just dropped down, tore up the ground, and like all of a sudden I'm fighting a griffin. I'm like, that's how Dragon's Dogma is. Like, you will just out of nowhere, griffins or sphinx or porgers. We went to a campsite and I was just about to light the camp, and then the trees exploded because an ogre came out just out of nowhere. So it's random fun.
Whiskey Risk called it. He said, and then a griffin shows up. He called.
He did, yeah.
Awesome experience. But in the chat, they love it. They're laughing, they're entertained by it and stuff. It's the reaction. So I definitely know, I feel where you're coming from, where the games just slowly took it over.
Yeah, and if you're really excited about it and you're only going to be thinking about doing that while you're playing the other game, I feel like it's not as good or fun in general. It's way more fun to be excited about what you're doing. I have like quit games before where I'm like, okay, we got to finish this game and then we'll play the next game. And then all of a sudden I'm like, well, what if we just come back to this one day and then we don't? It's not as fun. I don't know. I think it needs to be fun.
Yeah, it does. I absolutely agree with you, because you want the chat to be, you want them to be entertained while they're there chilling with you or whatnot. You don't want it to be boring, and you want to have a good time while you're doing it too. That's why you're doing it.
Right.
Our price said, just don't play games with friendly fire with Danielle. If you know, you know. Is there something you need to tell us? Danielle, you be shooting people. You shooting people. Okay, I got you.
I have no comment to that. I would never blow my friends up in any game that I ever play.
That does not sound too reassuring, Danielle.
Not even a little bit.
There may have been an incident, but we don't speak about it.
Oh, okay. All right.
Speak of. I got you.
Well, leave it to the chat to expose you.
Always. I knew it was coming.
So what is your favorite shooting game? So Halo is your favorite first-person shooter?
Yeah, I would say Halo. I've been pretty into Helldivers. I haven't played as much as I would like to, but Helldivers has been really fun lately.
I feel like I've heard about that one. Like, they're like, aren't they trying to get more people to play it because like there's some war going on or something?
Yes. Helldivers for me is incredible. I think it should absolutely be considered for Game of the Year. There's been no game like Helldivers to get people to stop arguing about Sony versus PlayStation or Sony versus Xbox and just say, get the Xbox players in here. I geeked out when someone on TikTok did a rolling like resume for Xbox and why they should be playing in Helldivers. And it went through like Gears of War. Like, we did this, and like they were calling out specific like big moments in Gears of War and Halo and like the Xbox exclusives, and like, you need us on the front line. I was like, I'm convinced. Get these guys in here. Let's get this crossplay going on here. But
yeah.
Any considerations for a Helldivers cosplay?
I've thought about it, but I haven't played enough to find an outfit that I really, really like yet. Maybe.
Okay.
I'm thinking about it. It's
Looking at these
brewing, cooking.
It is cooking. That's the one thing I think Helldivers needs a tad bit of help with is their costumes. I don't
Yeah.
think I don't think their uniforms scream, "Oh, that's dope."
Yeah, I
Like,
agree. That's the one thing holding me back, I would say.
I was wondering if that was it because it's like when you pick a helmet or you pick a suit, it's like you dropped the ball at the 5-yard line. You almost had
Yes.
almost had a touchdown,
Yes.
but like and I don't know what or what do you think of that? Like, what makes a game developer have good designs? Because there's these game developers that just fucking knock it out the park, and then there's other ones where it's like, oh, dude, somebody should have just told you just put this here and put that there, and we would have been winning. Like, what happened? Is there any other costume where like the game was so fun and you were just like, oh, I wish this costume looked better?
Yeah, Dead Space. So the Dead Space costume in the original game, I thought was hot garbage. I loved the game. It was so fun and I wanted to cosplay it so bad, but I was like, this costume is not good. And I was saying that like while I was streaming it, I remember, but then when I commissioned Whiskey for art, I was like, can we make this costume good? Can we like take the parts of it that are cool and make it cool, like make the whole thing cool? And he crushed it. So yeah, I think Dead Space is one that comes to mind first. But also Helldivers. I completely agree with everything that you said.
What about the handlers? What were we talking about there, Whiskey?
The
Oh,
handlers.
the antlers that are like hands.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
That's one of the like headgear that you can wear in Dead Space is these there's like one of the DLC costumes where you're like wearing a bunch of crazy pieces and parts of like the destroyed ship, and it's like real hands that they made into antlers that you can wear on your helmet. It's pretty gross.
Awesome. All right, so yeah, we're coming up on the 9 o'clock hour here, and I've got this thing laid out. So really, the only thing I have to do now is I got to finish the sword and do the inks, and then I can start coloring this. I don't want to take up all your time, although we're having an amazing conversation with you and enjoying your time, and our chat is super full with all the activity. But I can stay on. I'm going to stay on and keep working on some more if you want to stay. But I know, Emil, you do live watches at 9 o'clock. I don't know if you want to stay or get the next one.
Tonight, but I gotta. Hopefully, my Amazon package is here with my poison ivy leaves, and I need to get started because that needs to be ready by either Friday or Saturday.
Yeah.
24 to 48 hours away. So it was a lovely chatting with you.
Yeah, you too.
Epic. I will see you next time.
Okay.
No,
you'll see me Friday or Thursday. Yes, it is.
Yes, in real life. All right.
Thank you, Christian.
You all have a good one, and I will see you all next time.
All right. Thank you, Amelia.
Bye.
All right. So wanted to make this hair super bold and epic for you because your hair is always bold and epic.
Thanks.
And we've got the body down. So all I have to do is like kind of put the blacks on here. I'd like the hair as is, so all I gotta do is go over that with black. That shouldn't take much longer or whatnot. But let's dive in, Danielle. Like, I am a huge Full Metal Alchemist fan. This is the first anime me and my oldest daughter watched, and this is her first anime, and we watched Full Metal. So I've got to ask the obvious question: which one do you prefer, Full Metal or Brotherhood?
I have only watched Brotherhood, so I must say that it's Brotherhood for me, but only because I have nothing to compare it to.
Okay, and that's fine. I love Brotherhood. I prefer it. I saw both
Uh-huh.
of them. We prefer Brotherhood. And so, were you aware that Brotherhood was made because the manga wasn't finished and the anime got ahead of it, so they just did their own thing?
No, I didn't
Yes,
know that.
yes. So, Full Metal, the original one. Make sure I got that right. All right, Full Metal, the original one, got ahead of the manga, so they just took the story where they wanted to towards the end of it. So it's a completely different ending and things like that. And so the fans and the creator wanted to actually do an anime based off the full manga once it was done, and that's what Brotherhood is.
So Brotherhood is like canon then.
Brotherhood is canon, yes.
Okay.
Now, I remember we watched it and we were rather upset at the ending, and we were like, all that for this. We were upset. But then we got a hold of Brotherhood, and that's when Netflix was really getting started. That's when Netflix really was kind of
Mhm.
like doing their thing. And they got that, and we binged it on that. And um I love I love the animation. I love the characters, the whole setting. There's so much to take apart there, but I think I love this is the one where hold up, where's Mustang is my favorite character.
Yeah.
Mustang is my favorite character,
Yeah.
and my favorite scene is the revenge scene. So
Ugh.
uh, you said Olivia, and Winry was your favorite character. Well, Winry was your number one. So why
Yeah.
is Winry your number one?
I love strong, capable blondes. That's really call me vain, but that's I am biased. I think that I get really excited. Um and Winry, I think I love a lot of qualities about her, that she is like confident and determined and is not like easily pushed around, and is a mechanic, and like give me the thing, like let me fix it. And I love her attitude. Um yeah, I think that I don't know. I like that she isn't like the uwu girl character, like stereotypical like anime girl
Mm-hmm.
in all of the earlier animes that I watched. I watched Dragon Ball Z when I was a kid, but I didn't get into anime much until I started cosplaying. So it was only like 10 years ago ish that I started like watching Death Note, Full Metal, like Fairy Tale, stuff like that. Um and I had only always seen the really timid girlies. And so when I watched Full Metal and Winry was kind of epic and kind of like in charge, I was like, "Ooh, girl, love you."
Hey, listen to Anthony. Let's go.
Talking about herself for real. Thank you. That's really nice.
Okay, Roy. I see you agreeing with the conversation, Roy. Appreciate that. So that's really cool because Rennie really was a strong character. I love how daring she was, and she was really devoted to her craft, which is you, right? She would pick up her tool bag. Didn't matter what Ed was. She'd go out there and go get him and fix whatever it is that she needed to fix. Or, at times she'd almost be more concerned with the arm and the leg than at his actual health.
Right. Yeah, which I also love. I love that about her.
It's also, can you think of like what was the moment that Winry won you over with?
Mm, I mean, I don't wanna I feel like it's a cop out to say right away, but I feel like it was kind of right away. I feel like the second she hit him in the face with the wrench, I was like, "I'm in." Tell that boy what to do. He needs it.
All right, there was something sinister about that. All right. All right. Awesome. So Olivia Armstrong, kind of like the same lines of what you
Yeah.
dig about blonde characters and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
I didn't think about that like that when watching those animes, that they flipped that stereotype of blonde women on the head like that. So it's a very good thing that you brought up.
Yeah, that was, I mean, again, I didn't watch a lot of anime, but I just like with movies and TV shows in general, just would always see like the blonde girls as um I don't know, like the ditzy like kind of objects in like media and not necessarily like people with personalities.
Mhm.
So that would always stick out to me.
Also, are you what up, J Man? Are you doing any K dramas?
No, I well, so yes, but I couldn't tell you what they were called because very stereotypically my roommate will put on K-dramas and I will be uninterested and then slowly sort of make my way into the room and sit down and be like, "So what's happening?" And then eventually get hooked and then need to watch it all the way through. But I absolutely could not tell you what it was called because
Okay.
I would sort of just like osmosis into the room and watch in tandem.
No problem. I would like to say I am the same way. Um, my daughter, Logan, she watches a ton of K dramas and they're always on. I'm like, oh my God, what are you watching now? But now we pick a different one after she gets done with her homework and watch an episode of it every day.
That's
Watch a
so
different one every day. And right now she has us on the Extraordinary Attorney Wu, and she is an attorney who has autism.
mhm.
And we are watching the show, and today I have never wanted to jump through a TV and punch characters before in my life because they were being so mean to Wu, and I was sitting there like, she has autism. What are you doing? Why are you talking to her like that? And my daughter gets hyped like I do about this stuff, so we were both like yelling at the TV while we were watching it, and while she, whenever Wu makes her points, we're all cheering. So yeah, these K dramas will get you.
Yeah, I also the one that we were watching was one where um there was a woman who had I think terminal cancer and then got to and like all of the people in her life were messing with her in a horrible way and then she got to like redo her life and it was like her best friend was going behind her back and doing really crazy like manipulative stuff where she would get her in trouble on purpose to look better but she didn't realize that in her first like go through of life. I don't it was I think based on a web comic of some kind but
Yeah.
yeah it was yeah a lot of moments where you're like what the heck. I would love to punch somebody in the face.
Absolutely. They're very they pull you in. They pull you in. I think we're like on episode 5 or whatnot of this show, and my daughter's like, I was like, we only watch one episode a day. She's like, why? I was like, because I have stuff to do. Number one, and I have to watch stuff with other people in the house too, and or we watch stuff like there's some stuff we watch together as a group. There's one stuff I watch with my daughter Mila, and then I watch, my son comes down here and he watches the craziest YouTube stuff, and I look at him like, this is what you really want to watch? You don't you don't want to watch Naruto?
You have so many cool options.
They're trying, trying to have a lot of variety here.
Mhm.
All right, so this I just gotta do the sword, and I can color this off. I can color this off camera and just send it to you when you're done. This is gonna be yours. You can have this to do whatever you want with it. It is yours, and that intro that we did for you, that is also your intro. So I'll be sending you that video for you to keep to do whatever you want. I thought your logo was very clever, so we went ahead and got that little animation for your logo at the end of it. So we will be gifting you that once the show is over. again, do
Oh, thank
whatever you
you
want with it.
so much.
No,
Wow.
no problem, no problem. We like creatives on this show, so we have a lot of fun with it.
I appreciate that. I'm really excited. I have to cosplay her now. Like for real, for real.
Yeah. Uh, I need to see it because I think one of my things I really noticed about your shoots, and I guess I would think, and obviously you can correct me if you're wrong. I feel like now that I know that you do mood boards for them, that's where it comes from. The color, like the overall color of each photo shoot, is very powerful, and it rocks, it intertwines with what you're doing with your cosplay. I don't know what the character was, but there's one where it's like a bunch of purples and you like have this creature type of thing in your hand that you're holding. Let's see here.
Creature,
Let's see. Or maybe it's a helmet. Yeah, it's a helmet with a tongue and you have a backpack on it.
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah.
Like,
That's yeah, uh-huh.
that's
Among
crazy.
Us. Uh-huh, uh-huh.
Number
Yeah,
one, did
I'm
you?
gonna attribute most of the coloring on most of my photos to David Love. He's the photographer that takes the majority of my pictures, I would
Uh-huh.
say, ever since I started cosplaying. And he is, first of all, like his background was always in graphic design.
Hmm.
And then he started doing photography separately and then married them together. And so he and also is like a huge Batman like comic book fan. So all of his coloring is like very cinematic and everything is very you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
very like pop off the screen, like punchy, like emotions kind of very, it's really, really cool, which is why I saw his work in the first place and contacted him when I lived in Florida, is how good he is at making things look really cool and cinematic, and he crushed that photo shoot. He is amazing.
Yeah. Thank you, Aaron. Yeah, the colors and the smoke and the atmosphere of this is just crazy. Can you walk us through how the costume and the parts and the helmet and stuff were made for this?
Yeah, I would love to. So it's based on a video game called Among Us. I don't know if you've played, but it is like a social deduction game where you have up to 10 friends on a spaceship, but one or two of them is an imposter and they're trying to sabotage the ship. So you're trying to go around and do your tasks, and you're also trying, one, not to die because they can murder like crewmates, and
Okay.
two, figure out who is faking and try to eject them from the ship. And so the costume is based on, if you saw the characters, they're just like these little 2D beans with like legs. They don't even have arms, but they do have a backpack. And so I was planning on doing a cosplay from it because it's um, like a really popular game, and I thought it would be really, really fun. And then I saw Jessica Negri did one that was really cool. And so I kind of was inspired by a lot of her pieces, like the details on the backpack and
Okay.
the
Yeah.
thigh
Yeah.
highs and stuff like that. Um, so I took little pieces of her design inspiration from, and then sort of created a character from there. But I did buy an Amazon bodysuit and modify it since I hate sewing. And I added this gray piping to each of the seams so it looked spaceshipy. I had this like blue metallic material because you got to pick your color whenever you played the game. And I wanted to do like the like deep blue, like the metallic-y blue. So I added all of the kind of sci-fi piping to all of the like the tops of the thigh highs and around the little like hole in the bodysuit chest and stuff like that. And then I got a helmet from Party City, which that year so many people did Among Us cosplays that Party City had no astronaut helmets left, none in the stores. People were driving hours to go get astronaut helmets from Party City or Spirit Halloween, I think. Nobody had astronaut helmets because the Among Us game was so big that everyone was trying to cosplay from it. So I was able to get one of the helmets while they were still in stock, and I spray painted it blue to match. And then the backpack was all foam. It was a shoebox that I put foam around and added a bunch of like foam strips to make all of the cool details on the front and the sides, and like the straps and all that were all made out of foam. I think. Oh, and then the mouth, I assume. So I sculpted that mouth actually out of clay foam and added all those little like rivets and stuff to the thigh highs, the gloves. Yeah, painted everything to match. And then the mouth, I bought like a rubber mask and I
Okay.
cut the teeth out, and then the tongue is just a ton of clay foam that I sculpted into a tongue and sort of hot glued into place so that I could put it inside the helmet, because whenever they're imposters, um and they come to the ship and they're running around the ship, but if they murder somebody like a crewmate, there's a couple of different like death animations, and one of them they open up their helmet and there's like teeth and a giant tongue inside, and they like chomp them. So I was trying to make that sort of come to life. So I glued a giant tongue inside of the helmet trying to be like the imposter.
I'm gonna have to correct you on one thing. You did not try. You succeeded. All right. Looks really, really
Thank you.
cool. Love your take on it, and um, you, you're just a great cosplayer. Like there's no BSing around that. You can tell you love your job, you love your craft, you put a lot of time and work into it. Uh, Everything from the start to finish is top quality. So as a cosplay fan, I think that's dope, and hats off to you.
Thank you so much.
All right. So we got the picture finished as far as the inks are done. I'm gonna color this up. I didn't have enough time to color it on the show. Like I said, today did not go the way that I wanted to because I wanted the drawing done so I can color on the show for you. But this will be yours to have. I will upload it to the folder and send you a link so you can have it. You can run it as a print or whatever you want, and then we'll be giving you the video and those animations of your logo and stuff as well.
That's very nice. Thank you so much.
No problem at all. Let everybody know where they can find you at, where they can catch you, or if you have anything special going on that you want to direct people to, go ahead and tell everybody about it.
Well, my next event is going to be GalaxyCon Oklahoma, which is I think the last weekend of May. And then besides that, all of my social media handles are my name. So Danielle Denicola, on every platform except Twitter because my name is too long. So the E in Denicola is missing on Twitter, but everywhere else is just my name.
Yeah, very unique name, so it should not be hard to find you at all.
Thank you. I hope not. Sometimes it's hard to spell though, so it's a pro and a con, I would say.
I get you. No problem there at all. All right. I'm going to put up a link right now. Is it done? Yes. If you guys click the link that comes up in the chat, this will take you straight to Danielle's website, where you can get all of her social media links and things like that, and check out her dope ass cosplay pictures. She does a ton of stuff. Follow her on Twitch and things for her streaming. But you can either scan this with your phone, or you can just click the link that just should have popped up in the chat. Let's go here and give her a follow her and check her out and ask her questions. I appreciate Danielle coming on here and giving us insight into her cosplay life very much. And get my windows back together here. And so glad that we were able to connect to make this happen. Uh,
Yeah, me too.
Thank you to the chat for being here and hanging out with us and asking questions. If you guys enjoyed what we do here, we are a network called Agents of Geekdom. We have about 5 different shows on this same network, talking about Hawaiian culture, talking about geekdom, talking about lots of things going on here throughout the week. So you can just pop on in there anytime you want. Hit us with a like, a follow, and subscribe, and of course, do the same thing for Danielle if you have not done that yet. All right. So we're going to wrap up today. We went a little bit longer because I want to get these inks done. But I appreciate you guys hanging out with us. And I want everyone to, as always, stay epic.